maybe they're not showing it, but Amazon's extremely nervous. Half of America that's on TikTok has purchased one item.
How do we get GMV Max more profitable or generate more revenue from a creative strategy standpoint?
People put a bunch of shitty videos in GMV Max and it's like a giant waste of time. A video that doesn't get anywhere organically is not going to be a huge winner for you in paid. The creator can have 16 followers and go viral. What you want is high watch time. But there are exceptions to the rules. Your videos actually get shadow banned. They launched 4 different levels of probation now. You got to get to the 4th level. Now TikTok's like, okay, you're not a scam. Now we're going to push your videos.
So many people are looking to get established now early. You as a brand still have a chance to get in. Just imagine what it's going to be like at this rate in 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Don't give up and you will have your moment and it'll be life-changing and you'll never go back.
So really appreciate you, Ian and Dan, for hopping on today. I would love for you guys to give a little bit introduction on who you are, to share with the audience a little bit about you. Ian, we can start with you first.
Okay, me first. Ian, last name Page. Okay, I'm Italian, but my name is not Italian. That's a long story. You can blame Ellis Island for that. Little bit about me. I'm a seller, e-commerce seller. I sold private label on Amazon for 4 years before starting an agency in 2018. And right after I started that agency, I spun off an exciting business called Sellico that I think we're really here to talk about today. But Sellico is a service that I partnered with Dan here about 2 years into my agency career. So that's me. Dan,
That's awesome.
Yes, my name is Daniel Del Carlo. I'm a true Italian, 50%. And I do have my name engraved, the last name Del Carlo in Ellis Island. So I'll take that one. Long story short, ex-Amazon seller as well, private label, and current Amazon seller. And really before that, I was in the Instagram software space. So I'm really good at building audiences and then using a community to help launch brands. So through that journey, I met Ian and co-founded Sellico together.
the rest is...
It's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like you guys have complementing skill sets here too to help, build what you have so far. But I want to go back a little bit and talk a little bit first, just to introduce the audience to kind of how you even got into this. You had mentioned that, you've been involved in building brands, you've been involved with, other third party marketplaces prior to TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
But when was it for you guys that you kind of discovered that there was a new opportunity on TikTok Shop for you? And at that point, where was Sellico as a service and a business at that time?
I could take this if you want, Daniel, because it didn't really hit me over the head strong right away. It was kind of a slow poke, but
yeah,
Amazon was our first love. We still do a lot of Amazon services, but Amazon's become more and more restrictive over the last 10 years. So our service scope for Amazon is kind of just like gone to the point where we can get up, we can get away with this much while staying compliant, right? Where it used to be this. So Daniel and I have always been looking for like, what's another marketplace that's fun, wants our service, is open to doing business, and isn't so damn constrictive. And TikTok Shop came around. I didn't expect it to be that marketplace, to be quite honest. I don't know if Daniel, if you had the TikTok realization first, or if it was me, but it kind of came slow. I had a couple clients that were like, "Do you do giveaways on TikTok?" And I was like, "Sure." I say yes to anything, kind of. Dan and I are like, "Yes, guys."
Yeah.
And I just never thought it would be where it is today, where it's now 75% of our entire platform.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a lot of our current clients using our Amazon service approaching us about TikTok. So I kind of learned about it in, reverse. So people were asking me just like, "Man, hey, what's this TikTok thing? What's this TikTok thing?" And I go, "I don't know, but let's find out." So really it was the clients slowly poking me, which made me look more into it. So, I was aware of it, but really it got validated by large sellers and large users that I've, we're already hearing things about it as well. So that was kind of my way in.
Okay. So it sounds like at the time there was in large part, your client base and the people that you were working with, they kind of pushed you over to start offering it because as entrepreneurs, we like to say yes to things, right? So we figure it out later. And that's kind of how it became a thing, is actually a need that the clients or maybe even a curiosity they had to try TikTok Shop. Would you say it's accurate, or?
I would also add, people knew us as always being ahead of the latest thing. So the moment they thought or heard about something new, they instantly ran to us. So TikTok was not the only thing. We get approached all the time. In fact, I was approached 2 days ago about another platform that we've never touched. So they really run to us first whenever they hear anything. So that was really interesting.
It's interesting you say that too, because how do you guys think you gain that reputation for kind of becoming the, always staying ahead of the curve?
By saying yes. I mean, the sellers always have. Here, let me actually give you a better answer than that, Jordan. I own an agency. So we manage about, Daniel's actually part owner in the agency too. So we manage about 160 brands.
Yep.
So when you're managing 160 brands, you're pretty much got your ear to the ground.
Yeah.
So everything we've made for Sellico has been inspired by, to some small or large part, my conversation with my team and my agency. So Sellico was built as a personal playground, a personal wish list. But we didn't get into TikTok Shop right away. So Sellico, like Daniel said, that was like a client request on the Sellico side. And then when Bullseye got into TikTok, now we really know what to offer.
Yeah, I see. So things kind of merged together at that point, and they probably helped grow each other.
Correct.
Yeah, really interesting synchronicity, 100%, like in almost direct proportion too, between the clients, each company, the interest level was the common denominator, whether it was coming from the agency side or the Sellico side. So really just the industry was the common denominator.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's very interesting. It makes sense, because it's like, when you offer different, every brand has different needs at different times. And if you can be a person or a company that offers those things, then you can basically serve them at every level. Essentially, you've got the support in place to help them with what they need. So, yeah, that's great. So let's talk a little about like TikTok Shop as a whole and like TikTok as a platform. I'm curious to know, from what you're seeing like across clients and across brands, there's obviously lots of things that people talk about like, oh, you should be putting, lots more content, going volume with GMV Max instead of quality content. And, the algorithm's changing and it's doing this, and not YouTube SEO, TikTok SEO is like really important now. Like, what are you guys actually seeing in terms of where TikTok Shop actually is right now for brands? And maybe even some data points that you've seen that would suggest where and how the platform's been evolving even over the last year.
Yeah, it's a loaded question, Jordan.
I know. You can just pinpoint a few things that stick out to you.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Because like with Amazon, you would always hear these little tricks, tips, and hacks, but they would be fleeting, right?
Yeah.
It was like these, do this URL from Google and this will happen. And everyone ran on that bandwagon for like a year. And then now you don't even hear about it. Right.
Right.
At the end of the day, there's usually a few things that are actually always going to be evergreen things.
Yep.
The evergreen thing on TikTok is you are as good as your affiliate. Okay. So if your affiliate sucks and you have 200 videos that suck, your shop's gonna suck. It's a math problem of suck equals suck, right? So, and there's obviously more nuances to it of like some products are easier to make content for than others. That's always true. If I can demo a product versus describe it, I'm going to do better because demos do better than words, right?
Yeah.
However, at the end of the day, over at Bullseye, I have to bring in that knowledge. Over at Bullseye, we found that it's all about coaching and good hooks and really training the affiliates, because you're going to always start at the bottom and work your way up no matter who you are. So you need to have a good knowledge of the first 3 seconds. That's probably the most important knowledge you need to have.
Yeah.
And then stick to one selling point for the rest of the 30-second video. Right.
Yeah.
Outside of that, with Sellico, we really come into play on the first 90 days. Like if you jump into TikTok Shop and you don't know Sellico exists and you're not a $20 million seller that's getting whitelisted, you're basically screwed.
Yeah.
And I'm not just trying to sell my services. I'm literally telling you, you're gonna agree with me later.
Yeah. No, it's true. I would agree with that, because I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it sure does extend the timeline for when you can get momentum on TikTok Shop. 100%.
You're right. It's not impossible, but it takes your chances of success at an uncomfortable level, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of brands are coming on with, I think, at least from what we've seen, there's obviously a lot of intrigue with even smaller brands wanting to do that. But if you don't have a runway of cash flow where it makes sense for you to be able to invest in a platform for a certain period of time, it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot if you start with very limited resources, because it does take resources. And I think that what we've seen, even using Sellico with the brands that we work with, like it's at this point almost a necessity. Yeah, like you have to. I mean, it just gives you a competitive advantage. It gives you a accelerant that you add to a cold start brand, or even a brand that's in a place where they haven't been able to figure things out for a while. It can kind of reignite a bit of the, whether it's getting more trust built in the listing, right, with reviews and sales, or it's, getting sales through an affiliate video so that you can actually, send out a certain amount of outreach, messages per week, right? Like there's so many different factors there, but yeah, no, I agree with that. And you have any other input, Dan? Yeah.
Well, you were saying there's a lot of use cases, but another one is shop store, right? So obviously people come out of the gate, they're looking to season their listing, unlock creator access. But a lot of people that are already selling, if they drop beneath a certain shop score, there's certain things that occur. So they'll utilize our services to help increase shop score in a really efficient way that, once again, would have taken a lot longer to do without the Sellico platform in that case. So, and then another point earlier is there's a lot to this, like Ian said, loaded question, but the effect that TikTok Shop has on many of our clients is mixed in so many good ways. As a valid marketplace for real sales and a new customer base, but really a top of funnel spillover onto Amazon and the direct D2C websites. So we're working on tracking all that down to the penny to really make sense of the math. But we've seen, Ian can, specify, but 30% on average is my opinion spillover from, and people argue whether it's 30 or 40, who knows, from TikTok Shop directly to Amazon. And I've actually been that guy too, where I'll see something on TikTok Shop, go to Amazon. So it's really another part of the overall ecosystem of a brand strategy. Yes, it can be a one-off marketplace and you can grow in that one area, but it's ultimately going to ripple into other areas. And since it's affiliate based, not so much SEO based, which you brought up earlier about it being potentially SEO based, we'll see where that goes. It's just a very, not easy, but compared to what else is out there for what can happen and the timeline that it can happen, it seems to be, very special in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting. I think that a lot of people I would love to get your take on this too. A lot of people are kind of in this race to figure out how to correctly and as accurately as possible attribute sales from TikTok Shop to other platforms. I think there's just like this, the nerds out there are trying to figure it out. Obviously, you're working with whole different APIs, and there's no way to truly know. I don't think there's any way to truly know, because I think that maybe there is. Maybe I'm just naive, but like it does seem very difficult to do. I mean, there's tools like Triple Whale and Northbeam that you're able to track attribution across different platforms. It's a bit harder because all purchases are made within TikTok and the actual platform itself. You're not going off and able to track through website. So I don't know if there's a way to connect the dots there, but this is a really good conversation, because I think that the people who are in it, they kind of know that there is attribution happening, like from TikTok Shop to other platforms. And a lot of people, their positional standpoint is like TikTok Shop or TikTok is a discovery platform majority of the time. And it's less about there's a mixed opinion about whether it's like, should TikTok Shop be a high ROI platform, or should it be more focused on discovery and just driving traffic to other places? But without that attribution and being able to track where where people actually discover their brand and product, it can be hard to validate that. So I guess honing in on a question for you guys is, in the ecosystem that we're in with TikTok, you guys are actively trying to track attribution from TikTok Shop to other platforms. One, do you think that we're ever going to get there? We have a solution to that. And two, do you think that TikTok Shop is more of a discovery platform, or can it also serve as a strong conversion channel with a high profitability?
The answer is, I don't think we're ever going to get there on the first question. I don't think TikTok's ever going to talk to Amazon.
Yeah, they're like rivals.
I don't think so. And TikTok isn't link based. So with Google, there's a link, and the moment you're clicking a link, that link is trackable and connectable through the dots.
Yeah.
TikTok's not link based. People watch a video. If they're interested in a product, they close one app and open another. And they're going to cut, and all they're going to do is know 3 or 4 words to search based on the inspiration of the videos. So they're going to search the brand name and 2 or 3 words. So usually what they do, here's the process. They watch the video. They're like, that's a cool product. I wonder if it's on Amazon. They go to Amazon app, because it's all mobile 100% of the time. And they type in the brand name and they get an autocomplete. Okay. And then they just click the autocomplete. There's no way to track that.
Yeah.
Okay. So question 2, TikTok's becoming its own viable platform, and the gap is closing. Conversion rates are increasing. We are seeing consumer trust develop on TikTok. People are coming back to TikTok. They're buying 7, 8 products. Some people are actually buying every single month. Half of America that's on TikTok has purchased 1 item. That's a new stat.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I just made a video recently on that. I think it's like 45% or something like that. That's so crazy.
Yeah. So
yeah,
Amazon's maybe they're not showing it, but Amazon's extremely nervous, because all TikTok needs to beat Amazon is 2-day shipping nationwide. They're at 3-day shipping right now.
Yeah.
And they need a really good search tool, so that people can search products with a good algorithm, and, sponsored and non-sponsored, just like Amazon has.
Yeah.
Amazon's never going to be able to do what TikTok's doing.
Yeah.
But
I've been trying.
But TikTok can do what Amazon.
Yeah, that's actually very, very interesting.
Yeah. So I sell TikTok to my clients, and Sellico as well, treat it as a marketplace where you can make a profit. Don't depend only on it being your solution for your Amazon business. That's too short-sighted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah. And then you look at the live selling aspect as well, and how much goes on.
Yeah.
And the impact of live selling, which is nearly non-existent. I know it's on Amazon, but I feel like, at least to me, the effect of live selling is so much higher on TikTok Shop. So once again, we have clients coming to us asking about TikTok lives, and there's people now getting studios and are going live 24/7 or many hours a day with people on different shifts to hit different markets in different parts of the world. So it's a real player.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I really like what you said, Ian, that I want to highlight that stood out to me is that Amazon's never going to become TikTok Shop, but TikTok Shop can become Amazon. Because it's like, I often refer to TikTok Shop kind of being the Amazon FBA of 2006 to 2008.
Yeah.
Like, obviously we have a lot more sellers now on TikTok Shop than there were in 2023 when it launched. But still, there's just so much more potential there. And I think that with a platform like TikTok Shop, there is an element of trust that needs to be built over time that it doesn't yet have, because it's still fairly new as a platform, that people as people continue to see it year after year after year still being around, especially I think with last year and all the ban stuff getting dismissed, and basically TikTok is here to stay now. I think it's going to bring a lot more sellers to at least want to try the platform. But I think that to be where they're at now so quickly and to see how much revenue and GMV is coming through TikTok Shop and how much they're growing, it's only a matter of time before they take over Amazon and trust becomes very similar to where Amazon is. It might take 5-10 years, but I mean, they're the only platform that has really nailed social and purchasing in one place.
And I think that's why so many people are looking to get established now early, because you brought up the point that reminds you of FBA back in 2016 or whatever you said. And that's why we're seeing such a gold rush mentality of people wanting to secure their spot, because they just don't know what it could become, but they know they can't go wrong by getting set up and seasoned and positioned now for whatever's to come. So based on this conversation, we're all, we're basically saying how confident we are in what's happening and what we're seeing. You would imagine every seller looking to get ahead, very competitive e-commerce brands, which are partially mainly entrepreneurs, at least a lot of our clients.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people they don't know what it could necessarily become, but they know the cost of not getting involved now could be, who knows what that could be worth in the future.
Yeah. I mean, penetration for a brand, even a smaller brand now, is going to be so much easier than it is going to be in 5 years. It's just, we throw around things quite frequently about how, certain aspects of TikTok Shop maybe feel saturated or more difficult, but it's like, in the grand scheme of things, they're still really easy, in the grand scheme of what the potential of the platform is going to be. And so, like, maybe if brands are struggling right now, I mean, Sellico is a great tool to help struggling brands to, repair their shop score or, get reviews or build trust in a listing, because that's a real thing, just like it is on Amazon, right? With people trusting to buy from a seller who doesn't have any reviews and doesn't have, anything to read about the product, they're going to be less likely to buy. It's like, this is still a great entry point, no matter, even if it's difficult to figure out. Maybe if it does take a brand, or if someone who's listening right now is struggling with TikTok Shop, you're in the right place. It's like, because if they already have their minds on TikTok Shop, then they're well ahead of the curve. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. But I am curious. I want to take a little pivot here and talk a little bit about the algorithm and what your thoughts are on the algorithm. I think traditionally, most people, whether marketers, entrepreneurs, business owners, they're kind of familiar with the traditional advertising with, let's just take Meta, for example, right? Where we make a campaign, we put in creatives, and, we spend on those creatives, or we're hiring creators and establishing a partnership. Traditionally you would go on Instagram, maybe have a creator, pay them for a post, right, that you could use as an ad. What do you think in the world of TikTok Shop? What do you think is different about the algorithm and advertising on TikTok compared to other marketing channels traditionally?
Oh, it's a really simple answer here. It's the algorithm's not based on the creator. It's based on the quality of the video itself. So the creator can have 16 followers and go viral. That's very hard with Instagram. Okay. And what's the quality of the video mean? It means watch time. That's all it means. Watch time. What you want is high watch time. So if you have a 30-second video and you can have your watch time at 15 seconds, average, you're killing it. Okay. If your average watch time is 3 seconds, your video sucks. It's going to get buried and no one's going to see it. All you got to do is just get watch time. So the first 3 seconds is your hook. That's how you get them to not scroll. One of our videos that's going viral right now is if you're cheating on your girlfriend, continue to scroll. Okay. So we've been doing a lot of stuff like that. Like, if you're this, don't watch this. And people are like, what do you mean if I'm this, don't watch this? Okay. So you hook them in, you get them
up a funnel.
Yeah. You just get them to not scroll. That's it. Then if you have a decent offer in the next 30 seconds, you're going to get a lot of views. Then the next part of it is you have to convert them to sales, but that's not the video algorithm. That's the product page. up to the product. My point. So,
I like that.
Yeah. So look, Sellico is really good at this. Here's what Sellico does. It actually sets your shop up for virality. If you do Sellico right, your probation period is rapidly reduced. You know, they launched 4 different levels of probation now. It's crazy. So
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, you know, starter, beginner. I forgot all the stupid names of these things, but it's like they have like 4 different levels of probation. You got to get to the 4th level. This is what we found in order to go viral. Your videos actually get shadow banned. So there's
interesting.
Yeah. So people actually what people are doing is this. They're coming into TikTok. They're doing messages. They have no reviews. Maybe they imported some reviews. They have no sales. And then no one responds to their messages. Good. So then they go to join brands. Brands meets creators. They pay retainers. They have 5Gs retainers, 3Gs. People post. Then the videos do well. Why don't they do well? Because the shop is in probation. The videos will not get high views. You're screwed. Like you're basically spending the money for nothing. So what Sellico does is that it forces the algorithm and forces the triggers that the algorithm wants to see, which is basically purchases, shipping on time, purchase, shipping on time, review, purchase, shipping on time, review.
Yeah.
Now TikTok's like, okay, you're not a scam. And now you're okay to do videos and we're going to push your videos.
I just want to add the shoppers that are buying these products in the Sellico campaign, they're watching that affiliate video nearly in full. So going back to the watch time thing he was talking about, the conversion is happening after a large amount of watch time, which is another signal of health and exposure that TikTok wants to say.
Man, this is really interesting. I'm really glad you guys brought this up. I want to dig here on a couple of things. So I'm trying to think if we're seeing this, whether that holds true of some of the brands we're working with right now with the tiers. One thing that I think is absolutely ridiculous, unless you guys have a solution around this, the 10 listings. You're required to have 10 listings to go up to the next tier. What happens if you only have a couple of SKUs?
I know,
right? It's ridiculous. You know, I don't know why they're putting the listing amount has anything to do with getting out of probationary period. It doesn't make any sense at all.
It's so arbitrary. We are finding that if you get 500 orders, you can push through that.
Okay.
Yeah. So not a lot of people are willing to do a 500 order Sellico, but it is something.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot. You could also do bullshit listings and then delete it later.
That's what we do. Yeah, because you can create the 10 listings, like you get all the other requirements. You create the 10 listings, have them live for a second, and then you jump out of that probationary period to the next tier, and then you deactivate them all, and you still hold that tier. Yeah.
And how about the probation quiz? It's like have you seen the probation quiz that they're making everyone do now?
I don't know if I have.
Yeah. They're sending all of us to school. You know, they're making.
So how many attempts do you get?
Yeah, good question, right? It's like a driver's. You can't drive, can't come back for a year. Look, I actually like all these things. Most people, as a seller, I would hate them, but as an agency, I like them. And the reason is because you and I know, Jordan, that it actually ties sellers to agencies more. It's stickier. I'm a capitalist. I want money, so I like this stuff. Sellico wouldn't even be in existence right now if TikTok wasn't a pain in the ass. Okay. We wouldn't have.
TikTok is a pain in the ass.
But here's the other reason why it's good, not just from my standpoint, is that they don't let bullshit products on TikTok. They actually have really, really increasing consumer trust. You can't go on TikTok and bullshit anyone anymore like you could before.
Yeah.
You can't have a product you're drop shipping from China that you can't get away from. So
thank goodness, by the way.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Like I like the idea of drop shipping, but thank goodness.
Thank goodness. So they want genuine brands. They want Reeboks of the world. They want Nikes of the world. And that's going to increase the conversion rate and the consumer trust for all of us.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, bring it on, guys. I'm going to find a way to get through your BS, but I kind of appreciate the fact that you go that extra mile for the consumer.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's important. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I think it's a testament that the brands that we're seeing on TikTok now, a lot of them weren't on there 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 10 months ago. And the brands that are approaching us are bigger than some of the brands that approached us in Amazon, which were big sellers too. Some more corporate enterprise style brands are interested to be on TikTok, and they have questions, and it's a little bit out of their league because it's this kind of new era it's a new era marketplace. So looking for people that are kind of hip to the scene, know what to do. So it's really interesting to see. I like that vetting process. And this goes back to earlier, the point of, if we're seeing all these big brands come onto TikTok Shop and you as a brand still have a chance to get in when the threshold are these silly quizzes and these silly tiers, just imagine what it's going to be like at this rate in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because that quiz that Ian mentioned to me, that just was reset. And then the tiers were reset. So who knows? Yeah. So who knows what they're going to continue to do? So if you're listening to this and you're not on TikTok Shop yet, just get on, just make it happen. Who knows? You don't need to sell out immediately, but just to avoid the future thresholds that we've seen with other marketplaces, while it lasts.
And hire a guy like Jordan, his agency, because, seriously though, because for someone like Jordan, he has 25, 30 accounts on TikTok. So he has leverage with TikTok. He's got support reps. He's got access to FBT, like we have access to FBT that other people don't have. He's got, partners like Sellico, and he can set up these campaigns. He knows how to set up the campaigns. He knows how many units you should give away. So even if you hire someone like Jordan for the first 6 months and you just tell him, I only want you to get me to here, it's at least better than trying to do it yourself. So there are guys like us out there that can help kind of concierge and VIP people through these experiences.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I do think that it is becoming, I really like your perspective there, Dan, too, on this, because I think I didn't think about it in that way before, in how it is going to become a lot harder and harder over time, I think, with the certain qualifications. As TikTok Shop figures out, how do we get more high quality brands on here? They have to kind of be a bit more restrictive. They have to, nail down a little bit more on how they qualify and how they move up the tiers, because it's just the natural progression of a platform. You look at Amazon FBA, right? Amazon FBA can be a nightmare sometimes with dealing with like all the requirements and everything you need to do, and they're very strict with certain policies. And I mean, yeah, we've had nightmare situations happen with our brand on Amazon too, where 70% of our listings were taken down for no reason at all. We could never figure out we never could escalate it high enough to figure it out, and they were flagged for silly reasons. Like, that's how stuff still happens on Amazon, like it does on TikTok, But it's like, I think that's really where I think, whether it's education through content, or finding a good partner, or using a software or a partner to help you do it, I think that it is advantageous to help you avoid all of the pitfalls that we've had to figure out over the last couple of years with TikTok Shop, and ultimately streamline that process to getting where you want to be. Because I think, at very least, just create a TikTok Shop. If you don't have the resource for that, just make a TikTok Shop and get set up on there, so you're at least established on the platform. So
yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, no, great thoughts there. So I want to jump back. I think this would be a lot of value, and maybe Dan, you can chime in here on your thoughts on this question too, since Ian had brought it up. But I want to go back to the quality of videos. This is a very interesting conversation, because there's always this debate between, do we focus on volume or do we focus on quality? And Ian and Dan, you share that same belief that quality is more important. And I've kind of been feeling that way for the past year as well, in how important quality videos are. And I feel like a lot of people are still focused on volume. Volume is an important component to some degree, but if you haven't got the quality part down, then good luck. You're just going to waste a lot of money doing this, and you're going to go to big companies like Join Brands or Social Army, companies like that, where they can send an influx of volume but may not quite meet the quality standard. But one thing you said, Ian, was very interesting, which was about, you determine the quality by the watch retention, or the watch time on the video.
Yep.
So I want to dig on this a little bit, because I agree with that, but I also am interested to hear if, when we talk about quality, how much time in the output of quality is done in the preparation and training of the creators, and also the creative direction and strategy for the creators to make the content?
Yeah, it's like 90% preparation, 10% execution. And it's also a malleable thing. Like, your first hook, your first USP, your first pitch might not be the right one. You have to keep testing. So, you'll know that you're starting to get closer by the amount of views per video. So it's really easy. And we don't focus on sales for early shops. We focus on just watch time. Like, we focus on views. So if the first round of videos are getting 200 views each, and the second round are getting 500-600, views each, we know we're on the right path, and we'll keep going down that path. Sellico just added affiliate videos for free as part of the Launchpad program. So now we have our own creator pool that are doing a lot of content for us, and they're good creators.
Yeah.
So now every Launchpad campaign can come with up to 5 affiliate videos for free. There is a back-end commission to the affiliate, but that's always the case.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's a great addition.
But we're not charging for the video anymore. So now we're kind of like, look, you need to drive sales through affiliate videos to make the algorithm happy. So why don't we just make everyone do that? Because we had people coming in and unadvised, doing campaigns without an affiliate video. They would send the traffic direct to their product listing, and then their affiliate tiers didn't go up. They didn't know they needed affiliate GMV, not just GMV. So now we're making it not required, but yes, you want this because it's not going to cost you anything. We recommend you do it. So back to the quantity or quality over quantity. We've had so many accounts that we've gotten to 1,500, 2,000 views that never sold over 10,000 a month. Just full disclaimer over at Bullseye. We have thrown spaghetti at the wall so many times, wasted so much client money on sampling for no results. And that is a sure way to get fired. They're just like, great, thank you. I did this for 6 months. I gave away 20 grand worth of product and I got 8K worth of sales. No, thank you. So we're being a lot more selective about our video quality and doing a lot more prep now because we know that it's the client's money we're giving away.
Right.
Serious stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Dan, do you have anything to chime in here on this topic?
Yeah, personal opinion. I don't have the stats to back it or the graph to showcase this, but I think in the earlier TikTok shop era, lower quality worked better just because everyone was so new, excited, new users, new experience, new app. And I was kind of that of the honeymoon phase. It was the honeymoon phase of being a buyer. It was the honeymoon phase of being an affiliate. But I think once again, the concept of bigger brands, more polished things, more professional products roll in, there is a transition to more meaningful content. So higher quality content. So I do agree in the present with what Ian's saying. And I just, once again, my observation was everyone was in the honeymoon phase. No one really cared. Everyone was just excited to be somewhere new. And, the quality didn't play such a big role 1+ years ago, put it that way.
Yeah. We noticed that too. There was a big difference in the low quality content just working. I mean, people could basically say, if the orange cart's still there, you can still grab it for the 50% off discount. It's like that was the majority of content converting back in the early days. It's like bottom of funnel stuff.
Bottom of funnel. Oh yeah, it was really bizarre. And the other part was I think people cared less about the affiliate video. They thought it was all about the deal and a deal on a new app they couldn't get somewhere else. So I don't think the content really had any significance yet. It was all about the offer, the product, the 50% off flash sale, everything screaming at you is what made someone buy. So now that I think people are becoming a little bit more well-equipped, accustomed to how the app works, a little bit more familiar, settled in, the content, the creativity does matter.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have to be a bit gimmicky in the first 3 seconds just to keep them watching, but then you got to get serious. That's the thing. After that 3 seconds, now you got to really give a good pitch fast. Like you're in an elevator, you got 3 floors and you got to pitch this guy. But the 3 seconds gets you on the elevator ride and then you have to actually close the deal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a couple of things here. One, first off, the affiliate video issue where they order the Sellico the orders and they realize that it doesn't increase the outreach limits. We had a situation happen recently where we're consulting with a brand owner and she ended up ordering all the units but didn't select the affiliate option and through affiliate video, and so that then limited the ability to be able to get, the outreach limit that she needed in order to send out to get more samples. So, that is a real thing. And then I think with the quality issue as well, or the quality conversation is, I didn't really think, in terms of focusing on views in the beginning, I think that's actually a good thing. Are you noticing that, like, when it comes to actually pushing out quality, are you focusing more on the organic side of it in the beginning, or the GMV max side, or the paid side? And, how are you actually doing that? Because I would assume that it sounds like an organic side thing first before you go to paid.
Yeah, it's always organic first. People put a bunch of shitty videos in GMV max, and it's like a giant waste of time. A video that doesn't get anywhere organically is not going to be a huge winner for you in paid.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
have you seen cases where that's not the case though? Because I've noticed that sometimes it needs a bit of spin, especially if there's an account that has low followers, but it's actually a good video.
I've noticed it when you're in a probation period and your videos just don't get views because of that, and then they get GMV max push, and then they do pretty well. But a good video, good is good, bad is bad. Putting money behind bad, I've heard.
Yeah,
don't put good money behind bad, right? So it's always safe, and this isn't a rule of thumb that you can't do it, but it's always safe to do it when the video has gotten a little bit more views than you typically see.
Yeah.
So we always test out organic first to make a determination of when to turn on ads. So once our ads are rolling, you can throw videos in there wholesale, but when you have a new shop, we don't turn on the ads until we see some videos that are actually showing some potential organically. That's when
you crack some content. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good mentality. It's similar to how we approach too. It's also like the amount of content, right? We have to have enough content, I think, enough good content in order to really push and start GMV max, right? We want to have enough
videos usually, right, Jordan? Like what do you usually like to have in there?
So we usually like to have somewhere between, it depends on the quality, to be honest. Sometimes we work with brands and they've already got content in there. So it's like, I think you got to have at least 25 decent videos, and decent, I would say majority of the time, it's got to be product and creator in the video, and no music playing, no pictures, no like really showing the creator and the product, and then I'm actually talking to the camera. Like we see I would consider that being a higher quality video in terms of the output, not necessarily the creative strategy side of things. We see less conversions on videos that people aren't actually talking. There's no voiceover or anything, and they're not even showing a face. They're just showing a product. Like it just doesn't work. So, I'd say 25 to 50 is usually what we're looking for, that range. But then again, if we come in and there's like 100 bad videos, it's like, well, we've got to make more content before we run GV Max.
Yep, totally agree with you on that. But yeah, I think that's the thing with TikTok. There's no exact science, but there are evident axioms, right? There are, it's like, there are scientific truths, right? But there are exceptions to the rules. So you can basically plan on the 80%, and then the 20% is the luck wild factor.
Mm-hmm.
But the 80% is the predictable, what you should be doing, but the 20% will surprise you. So if you have a good foundation and you got the shop score and you're out of probation and you set the shop up and you do everything right, you're going to get 80% back, but there's going to be this additional 20 that's just going to be falling from the sky in the heavens. And holy crap, we didn't prepare for that. That was not our hook. That was not our USP. This guy did not follow the deck at all. Holy shit, I didn't know how he did it, and he got 12 million views. Those are the holy shit moments, but they don't happen unless you have the foundation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to plan on them either. They'll happen when they happen.
You don't chase them. You don't chase them.
Oh, you're right. Focus on the basics. And that's what makes it fun too, is the 20% is the unknown, and the unknown seems to be very fun on TikTok based on what we're saying.
Yeah, definitely. So walk me through a little bit of your thought process around, like if we've got sellers and brands listening here to this podcast here, and maybe they're in a position where they either have they're not quite getting GMV max to be profitable. Maybe their content is more of the approach of, hey, we've just been sending out samples, hoping that we get good content. Maybe there's a little bit of strategy in there. How would you advise sellers like that who are kind of stuck in this phase of figuring out, like, how do we get GMV max more profitable or generate more revenue? From a creative strategy standpoint, what would you advise they do in order to help prepare the people that are making content for them to see a positive change in their results?
We've come at this a couple different ways, and in both ways got results. One of them is a client that is called Almond Clear. She publicly let me promote her case study, so I can, I even have them on my website.
Okay.
She was stuck at 30K, and like pretty much gave us notice. She said, if I don't see anything in 30 days, because I'm losing money, because no one makes money at 30K. Like you don't make shit at 30K with all the sampling, the agency fees. You're probably losing 5 to 10K. She's like, if I don't see something in 30 days, I got to call this thing. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Because she had good creatives coming in.
Yeah.
And some of the creatives were showing promise. So I said, let's just push this shop. Let's push the algorithm. Let's just do it strictly through GMV max. Let's bring your ROI target down to 1.
Yep.
And it took a little bit to convince her, because she's like, at 1, I'm like losing I'm losing like 15K a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was like, I just have a suspicion that you're not spending enough at this phase in where you're at.
Yep.
So we did that in early November. And then she broke from 35K to 140K by the end of December.
Wow.
And here's what's cool. That pushed videos in her GMV max and in the algorithm to get views organically. So yeah, we were at a 1 ROI target, but we had a bunch of videos that didn't even need to go into GMV max that started producing organically. And it was almost like TikTok said, okay, your shop is now okay and approved to go viral, or it's now okay. We will start pushing this shop. Little bit of a play magic there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of December, her overall ROAS was 3. She spent 40K and made 120.
Yeah.
I don't think she made much money. I think she broke even, but she said her Amazon was 30% up year over year and had the best month she's ever had in her history on Amazon. So I chalked that up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's one way, is sometimes you have good creatives and you see that they're getting action, but the client is being too conservative with max, like trying to get a 2.5.
Most people are. They're just afraid.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
You sometimes have to just push them over the cliff a little bit and be like, go to a 1 and just give it a big fuck it, and then let's go.
Yep.
Other ways are really playing with the hook and playing with the videos more. And we just had that with another company where we were trying so many different hooks, and then we finally found one that worked. And now that account's doing $350 a month. And they refuse to spend money on ads. So we're 100% organic.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a greeting card company. And we did, look, I'm telling you, that's why you can't give up. We did a great campaign for Christmas. No one gave a shit, because that's a big greeting card season, right?
Yeah.
We went all in on Christmas, man. Everybody, just hundreds of videos. No one gave a rat's ass. We sold 5 Gs in December. It was like, shoot me now. This is like, I don't know what else to do. Mid-December, we're like, okay, we're going for Valentine's Day. Let's try this. So we tried a different hook. This is the, if you're cheating on your girlfriend, then don't watch the video. January 1st came, and that video got 6 million views in 2 days.
Wow.
Selling Valentine's Day as the next season.
That's crazy.
So sometimes you just have to stick with it long enough to pivot and find your sweet spot. And Now we got Mother's Day as our next target. We'll see how we do, you know?
Yeah. And the one thing I'll add to that, slight backtrack, but still like cherry on top of what Ian say. There was also another client, Ian can touch on this one, that found a use case for a product that was completely different than any other use case that we thought was going to be successful. And once she found that niche, the video took off and just to completely like rewired everyone's thinking on what this product is to be sold for, how to angle it, how to now use that video as a reference point for other creators or other affiliates. So that's just a little extra thing I would add in there as well, is the more consistent you are, sometimes the most successful videos, the intention of the use was completely different than the way that we initially thought it was ever going to be. So that's another learning process. And, you know, whether you want to adjust your other marketing efforts on other platforms to expand your discovery or just double down or triple down on TikTok. So I think that's part of that 20% fund we were talking about earlier is the unknown. And that was another example of that.
And he's right. But we had all the foundations in there. The account was out of probation. It had good reviews. We had a good price point. We had the fundamentals. And just like Daniel said, we just needed a little bit from God to come in where an affiliate was like, no, this is the best way to use this product and let me show you why it works so well. And then everyone else is like, I have the same problem she has. It was like crazy. Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of brands that I speak to that they're very, very honed in on their ICP and the type of aesthetic and creators they want and like the content they're expecting from TikTok Shop. Kind of like the Instagram mentality, I think, a bit more, because Instagram is much more an aesthetic platform, and they kind of they want what they want, and they want like this certain avatar, and that's they think that's gonna sell their product more. But I always invite brands to think a little bit outside of that, because it's like if you put yourself in a box and you think that, you know, and again, you can have data to back up where your sales come from, right? And there's some weight to that decision, right? You're making data-driven decisions, but at the same time, it's like with TikTok Shop is like the Wild West, where like you can have a product that you had no idea there was a use case for, or a problem that it solves that you didn't even think about before, that someone has, they make a video, and all of a sudden it's the thing that actually drives all the sales that then leads all the other people with the ideal ICP. Your videos then get more views, and it just boosts the entire brand on TikTok Shop, all because you were just willing to, hey, let's try this creator. They're a little bit out of our ICP, or they're a bit different than what we normally select, but let's give them a chance, right? Or, hey, let's let them talk about this and let's see how it goes. Like, I think the experimental mindset with TikTok is so powerful because it not only can help you identify new markets that you can then apply, as you said, to other marketing platforms to implement that same thing, but it's a playground if you let it. And it's better to have that mindset than to have this like put yourself in a box. We only want this ICP, because ultimately I think that's going to stunt your growth.
100% agreed, man. It's like you're in a lab, you're making a new formula. You're like a chemist. You're sitting there, you're dripping liquids into liquids. Some are blowing up, some are foaming, you know, and then all of a sudden you got a liquid that turns into a peptide that cures cancer. It's great.
Yeah.
It literally is the story of TikTok, but you know, you got to stick with it. So I would say, and I got to hop off, I'm late for another call, but I would say the two biggest things to succeed on TikTok, I'm going to close out with hopefully a good bomb for you. The two big things to succeed: have the foundation in place. That is, have your shop score looking good, have your FBT fulfillment, right? Make sure that TikTok algorithm is preparing you for virality. That can be done in the first 90 days. After that, just stick with it. That's the second thing. If you stick with it long enough, you're going to find that use case. You're going to find that formula. You're going to find that guy that uses your seasoning on brisket that you thought it was for pork, and all of a sudden brisket people love it. You're going to have those moments. So you got to be prepared to succeed, and then just don't give up, and you will have your moment, and it'll be life-changing, and you'll never go back.
I agree.
I got to hop off.
Okay, but I agree. The last thing I would say is be willing to allow the market to communicate with you, which is another way of saying exactly what Ian just said. Don't be so locked in and boxed in that it must be the way you think. That's the fundamentals. That's the 80%, but be open to experiencing anything. And if you think back, at least for me in life, usually that's where a lot of the magic has happened. So keep that mindset, be consistent, and look for that. Look for the market to communicate back. and be willing, like you said, willingness. If you're not willing and you have, blinders on, you're going to miss it. And that might be your key to the dance.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Take it to the dance. Take it to the dance.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I appreciate you and Ian's time. It's been great. Honestly, I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I think we got deep on a few things that haven't had the opportunity to have conversations about with someone who's in the space. Where can people find you guys if they want to learn a little bit more about you, you and Sellico and Ian?
Sure. www.sellico, Sellico.com. You can book a call from there. You'll speak with Sergio, but if you come from this podcast, I'll do my best to join that call as well. Can't guarantee it, but I'll keep an eye out. So www.sellico.com, book a call, book a demo. Once again, you will see Sergio, and I will keep an eye out from anyone from this interview, and I will do my best to join that call.
Awesome, man. We'll make sure we leave your links to anything down below as well, below this video, but really appreciate your time. We'd love to have you again. And until then, though, let's keep in touch. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you, Jordan. Bye-bye.